Katina Paxinou is, of course, wholly Greek and has lived in Athens all her life, apart from her forays into Hollywood and so on. And the Paxinou you meet in Athens is a short, dumpy, middle-aged woman very much at home in her own city, and on speaking terms, it seems, with practically everybody in the whole place. She is talkative and cheerful, but remains throughout an actress to her fingertips, a prima donna if ever there was one, a woman who knows exactly what she wants and insists on getting it, and not without reason, because she draws these immense crowds whenever and wherever she chooses to appear in one of her great roles. This is the ancient Greek theatre of Epidaurus, built in the 4th century BC, a huge place seating 18,000 people. If you stand on the stone stage of this amphitheatre and drop a button onto it, the tiny sound can be heard clearly and cleanly throughout the whole arena. Paxinou and the Greek National Theatre Company pack this enormous stadium every Saturday and Sunday throughout the long Greek summer. It's 3 hours and more from Athens, up in the high hills at the end of a remote mountain road. They turn up in their thousands. And what these streaming crowds come to see and hear, apart from Paxinou herself, is the ancient plays performed in a contemporary way. The Greek National Theatre have discarded the ancient ritualistic masks. They perform at sunset and not at sunrise. The text is inviolable, but they speak it in modern Greek, as far removed from ancient Greek as is English from Anglo-Saxon. And they freely use the music and lighting effects and stage movement of our own day. Minotis, less widely known internationally than Paxinou, is certainly no less important in Greece itself. He's not only the company's leading actor, he's also their foremost producer, and his is the creative mind behind the whole movement, which has brought this new way of producing the classics into being. Between them, these two represent a working husband and wife partnership, which has been in the service of the Greek National Theatre for over 30 years. They themselves said that it would be quite impossible to talk to them together because they interrupt each other all the time. Madame Paxinou, what precisely have you and your husband set out to do in the Greek theatre?
To make a tradition.
Was there no tradition?
Well, there were attempts, because don't forget we were under the Turkish yoke, for 400 years, and just we were liberated 100 years ago. And we have theatre since, I think, 1900, but not, steadily. There were few private, how do you call them?
Interpretations?
No, private enterprises, you see. But now we have, since 1930, a subsidized theatre, a national theatre, as we call it, you see. No. It's subsidized. So we can now do what we dreamed to do.
Now, what were these dreams? It was something to do with reviving the old traditional Greek theatre, is that right?
The ancient Greek drama, but naturally not to revive, because we are not talking now by academic terms, to revive, to make archaeology, not at all. On the contrary. We tried to bring to the people, the ancient Greek authors who are the most alive, I think, and the most perfect expression of drama, to bring them down to the people, and not make academic performances, as they do in the universities, boring things, naturally.
But although you've thrown away a lot of the old, purely academic sides of classical Greek drama, yes, you nevertheless do keep the chorus. And to English eyes, of course, there is a sense in which to have the chorus constantly coming in is an interruption.
No, not at all. On the contrary, you cannot omit the chorus. The chorus is a continuation of the drama. It's a criticism of the poet over the drama. You have to have it, because the chorus criticizes you what has been done, and what sometimes telling you what's going to be done.
Thinking as an actress, don't you find that the necessity for the chorus to come in and reflect about what happened, doesn't that, as it were, interrupt the relationship?
No, it helps, on the contrary. It helps you.
How?
I don't know how. It gives me, it is, first of all, a relief. You have a pause. And then I cannot tell you, I cannot express it, why and how. Well, what the chorus says, you know, it's an elation for the actor, you know. Is it the word?
Yes, elation is a splendid
elation,
word.
You know, and then you come out and they explain already what you feel, and then you come out and you are elated, and you continue, and then the chorus again finds ways, you know, to bring you down and tell you now you were wrong. You see, it is a criticism.
Yes,
it's the fighting between, you know, what I told you about fighting.
And as an actress, you find that this actually helps your own personal performance.
Exactly. It's impossible to think playing, acting an ancient Greek drama without the chorus.
Do you find that these parts in classical Greek plays are difficult to play?
They are very difficult to play, but most of them can be played by a capable actress, you know, with some feeling and trying to do her best. But the most difficult of them all, and even I can say impossible to play, is Jocasta. It's a short part and impossibly difficult.
Why?
She has no screams, no expansions. When she learns that she is the mother of Oedipus, and she slept with her son and had 4 kids with him, you know, she just cannot stand it. It's too big an experience. Her heart cannot hold it, you know, anymore. The minute she learns it, you know, she just dies. She loses her voice. She tries to utter something impossible. Only she says, "Don't ask me anymore." And goes in and hangs herself. But the actress who is playing it, she must give that impression that she hanged herself in the spot. The minute she learned it, she's already dead. You understand what I mean? That's why it's so difficult to play Jocasta. I'm always trembling. I have a stage fright every time I play Jocasta. When I don't have for media, it's not presumptuous what I'm saying, but because it's a very difficult part. Impossible also in human. But you can play it. Bad, but you can play it. Jocasta.
You're not helped.
No, not at all. Mr. Sophocles doesn't give any help. Nothing but the feeling. You have to feel it. How, I don't know. Every time I'm trembling, I try to find new ways to express it. I don't know if I achieve anything. Sometimes they are crying, sometimes I leave the audiences indifferent. It doesn't click. As strange as it may seem, it is so.
Tell me, how far do you think, in the end, that you've succeeded in making out of these Greek plays a living theatrical tradition?
I think we succeeded 100%, my dear. I'll tell you why. If you take in consideration that we have our audiences are from all parts of Greece, besides naturally the tourists, let's say the Germans and the English and the Americans, but they come from the remotest villages of all over Greece.
Do you think these crowds came to see Sophocles or Paxinou?
No, to see Sophocles and Paxinou, naturally, now, because in the beginning they didn't know Paxinou. They learned that Paxinou plays in the Sophocles play. Bad or well, she plays.
As I understand it, you haven't simply concentrated on the classical Greek drama, but you've also done all sorts of modern plays as well.
Of course, and mostly Shakespeare.
And on the very day that I'd been talking with Katina Paxinou, her husband, Alexis Minotis, was in fact rehearsing The Merchant of Venice down in the theatre. He was running through the scene where Shylock turns on his tormentors. This is the National Theatre's main base. They sometimes have several companies operating in various theatres, but there's always a company of production in this theatre. It's a modern building with a conventional proscenium stage, and they use it mainly for Shakespeare and for modern plays. And in the third and final home of the company, where, as in Epidaurus and the Mountains, they perform the ancient eternal plays, is an open-air theatre on the slopes of the Acropolis, under the Parthenon itself, in the centre of the city. There, walking round the place with Paxinou, I suggested that with all these different theatres, her performances must vary a good deal, and she was saying that they varied anyway, no matter what the theatre was.
They do vary. They never remain steady, my dear. Because, I don't know, we actors call it the third eye that follows us, you know. You speak like this tonight, and then suddenly the third eye comes in, interferes, and says to you, no, you weren't right, my dear. You could cry a little bit earlier or a little bit later. You cried just the wrong moment. And then you feel miserable, naturally, and you try to do better. And again, the third eye comes in and says to you, no, 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 I think it's better, but you could do better even now. You know, that's the trouble. And you always improve and improve, but it's always the control of the third eye, at least to me.
It's as if you watch yourself acting while
all the time, while I'm acting, deep in the character, deep, that I'm lost completely. I'm not Miss Paxinou, I'm the character itself. All the same, the third eye is there to control me and to just to make me avoid little mistakes here and there.
Do you find that this third eye has got a sense of humour, Miss Paxinou?
Oh, naturally, when she says, no, come on, listen, you could do better, don't. And you wanted tonight to be at your best because so-and-so was in the audience, you see. No. I think most of the actors feel like that, have that third eye. At least I have it constantly.
When you're not actually acting, during the day, for example,
Yes.
when you're playing Hecuba,
Yes.
whatever part it is, do you find that you can drop the cares of the theatre and get on with your other businesses?
Impossible, dear. All these characters are following me like furies. I found out every day that while playing Jocasta, well, I played, let us say, Jocasta. Lately, I played Hecuba. I wasn't very happy with the dirge, and then again I was too strong in my hatred, you know, towards Polymistor. So I thought I could improve it. And then I am always, the all day long, Hecuba is there in me and says, now, why did you do that? Do it better, please, tonight, for my sake. So, and suddenly, another personality interferes. Rosemary has nothing to do with Hecuba, of Christopher Fry's, you know, the dark is light enough.
Yes.
And again, she said, now listen, last year you did something.
Let me get this clear. This is another character that you
Another
played
character,
sometime
completely.
in your life.
Completely, another character. But all the characters are after me, I tell you, like furies. They don't let me 1 second in peace. They have to advise me and tell me, now, you didn't treat me well last time. You could do something that it didn't occur to you. Why? And so I have that urge to play it again in another mood, in various spots that I missed the last time, you know.
Has it ever worked out wrong? Has it ever been disastrous? Has the second revival been worse?
No, always improving and always better.
But there must be some character in some play that you were glad to see the back of.
No, I'm radical, dear. I don't play things that I don't like. No matter the punishment, if it's suspension or money. I say no, and that's that. No.
You're in a position to be radical.
Thank goodness, yes.
I'd like finally to ask you this. You've acted in this sort of theatre, all sorts of theatres, as we all know, acted very notably on film. Do you find that in the end you really can act, as you obviously like to act, on film?
Yes, you can act always, if you are an actor, more or less well. But the excitement is completely different. When you play in the theatre, there is a sort of fascination that you cannot have in front of a camera. Impossible. Because in the theatre there is a fight, a continuous fight with the audience. They have to sit still and listen to you. By all means, no matter how long a pause can be, done from you naturally. Then there is that fascination. You watch them. Now, be still, be still. No, not yet. I'll keep it. Now you can breathe. I give you the permission, you know. That's that kind of fight. And then again, you have to gain them, to win them, you know. It's as if you are in a bullfight, you know, and you have to tame the bull. The bull is the audience, so you're always working against, you know, working against. You have to have them, by all means, to have them. And when you have them, it's a success.
But in this theatre, for example, they're on your side already, Madame Paxinou.
Huh?
In this theatre, they're on your side already.
No, 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 no. It's not all. There are always people who are a little bit uneasy, who look into their pockets and make little noises, little disturbing noises that are so, you know, the actor is so much disturbed because he's completely in his part, he's ready to cry, and then something in the pockets. So I remember one day, there was a noise from there, someplace, in the middle of the right wing. I didn't know exactly who because I'm blind and I can't see. But even so, if I had my eyes, good eyes, you know, I couldn't exactly pin the man, you know, who was, or the woman. But the noise came from one spot. And I looked for 5 steady minutes at this spot. And I was speaking my lines. And I said, no, you want... You know, inside of me, while speaking my lines, I said, you won't put your hand in your pocket. You won't try to pick up your pencil or write something down. You keep still, you keep still. And that was after the finishing of the play. And a man comes down and said, now listen, you said 3 words, Miss Paxinou. Can I interrupt you and ask you something? I said, please. You said 3 words. You know, I'm a scholar. And I didn't like in that translation, I'm not a translator, I said to him, dear. Yes, but I didn't like it, and I wanted so badly to write them down. But you pinned me down, and I couldn't take my pencil out of my pocket. And then it was you, I said. I'm glad. And that's that. You see?
I do.
How can you have that excitement in pictures or in front of a camera? A still little monster, you know, the microphone. I shiver, even now that I'm talking to you, I shiver that I am in front of that little monster.
You'd sooner that we were here in front of 4,000 Greeks.
They're monsters too, but you can tame them.
And tame them she does. But what remains in the mind is not so much the actress dominating the audience with her sheer presence, as the memory of an incomparable voice, speaking the words one so longs to understand.